Before you spend another dollar on a streaming box, hold up. The next Apple TV 4K expected in 2025 could change your living room in 3 big ways. Smoother video for sports and gaming, smarter home control that actually feels instant, and a quiet upgrade that makes YouTube look better while using less data. If any of that matters to you, stay with me, because by the end you'll know whether you should buy now or wait. And there's one rumored feature that could be a total game changer for everyday streaming. Let's cut through the noise. Apple hasn't officially announced the 2025 Apple TV 4K yet, but multiple reliable reports point to a refresh arriving before the end of the year. And this time, it's not just a tiny spec bump. Expect a faster A-series chip, upgraded wireless, and smarter integration with your home. That's the headline. But what does that actually mean for you sitting on the couch with a remote in your hand? First, power. The current Apple TV 4K is already quick, but a move to a newer A-series chip, think A16, A17 Pro or better, means everything feels instant. Apps launch faster, switching users is smoother, scrubbing through a 4K movie doesn't stutter, and Apple Arcade titles get performance headroom they've never had on a TV box. Think zero lag in the UI, buttery animations, and more complex games without your fan spinning up, because there is no fan. That's the Apple TV's secret sauce. Console-like smoothness, silent, tiny, and reliable. Now let's talk about the upgrade almost nobody sees coming but everybody will feel: video standards. Apple's hardware roadmap points to modern HDMI 2.1 capabilities. Translation: the door opens for 4K at up to 120 frames per second, variable refresh rate, and auto low latency mode. If you've got a 120 Hz TV, this is where live sports, fast YouTube content, and gaming start to look unreal. Even just navigating feels more responsive at higher refresh. Will Apple actually flip on 4K 120? The code hints have been there before. With a newer chip, the odds finally make sense. And here's the everyday streaming upgrade I teased: AV1 hardware decoding. If Apple puts in a chip with AV1 support, and recent Apple Silicon does, that unlocks better quality on services that use AV1, like YouTube and increasingly Netflix and others. Same internet, cleaner picture, fewer compression artifacts, and lower bandwidth at 4K. If you've ever seen YouTube look strangely soft on a giant TV compared to the same video on your phone, this is the fix many of us have been waiting for. For a lot of households, that alone could justify the upgrade. Wireless matters too, especially if your TV is far from your router or you're streaming high bitrate 4K. Expect Wi-Fi 6E at minimum, possibly Wi-Fi 7. On a practical level, that means faster, more stable connections, less interference, and smoother performance when everyone else in your home is also online. Combine that with upgraded Bluetooth and ultra-wideband possibilities, and you're looking at better accessory connections and the potential for a Find My Remote that finally stops disappearing into couch cushions. Yes, that rumor keeps popping up, and 2025 is the year it actually makes sense. Audio people, you haven't been forgotten. Apple TV is already strong with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, but expect better EARC reliability, tighter lip sync, and smarter dialogue clarity features baked into tvOS. Whether you're running a full receiver and speakers or a sleek soundbar, this is the set it and forget it box that just plays nice with premium setups. And if you're using Apple's own speakers, the handoff, grouping, and latency have been steadily improving. 2025 should double down on that. Now, gaming. Apple has been quietly building toward the living room. With a stronger chip, native 120 Hz support, and official game streaming apps expanding across Apple platforms, the next Apple TV could be the first time cloud gaming on Apple's box feels truly ready. Imagine picking up an Xbox or PlayStation controller, pairing it in seconds, and playing without your console even turned on. Add in Apple Arcade's ambition and larger storage options, 128 GB or even 256 GB, and casual to mid-core gaming suddenly becomes a real part of this device's identity. It's not trying to replace a PS5, but if it nails latency and 120 Hz, it will be far better than any stick streamer for games. Let's zoom out to smart home. If you use HomeKit or the Home app, Apple TV is already your home hub. The next, Models should make that hub faster and more reliable, with full thread and matter baked in across the lineup, not just the higher-end configuration. That means your lights respond faster, your sensors feel instant, and automations trigger on time. Pair that with a refreshed HomePod Mini rumored for 2025, and you get a home that quietly just works. Intercom from the couch, broadcast to every room, and ask Siri to show your front door camera on the big screen without that awkward lag. Speaking of Siri, expect a smarter, more personal voice experience. A stronger chip lets more of your requests process on-device, which is both faster and more private. Profiles matter here too. You sit down, speak, and Apple TV knows it's you, your up next queue, your Apple Music mixes, your game saves. If you live with family or roommates, this is the difference between a TV that feels generic and one that feels like it belongs to each person who uses it. Now let's tackle design and the remote, because everyone asks. The box will likely stay small, fanless, and minimal. The remote is where the meaningful change could land. Keep the aluminum build, keep USB-C for charging, add ultra-wideband so you can ping it with your iPhone and make it beep from inside the sofa. Maybe a slightly tweaked layout so it's easier to feel in the dark. Those are small things, but when you use a device every night, small things matter a lot. What about a built-in camera for FaceTime? Fun idea, not likely on the Apple TV itself. Apple already solved this elegantly with continuity camera. Your iPhone becomes the camera, wirelessly. Expect that experience to get cleaner and more stable, with better background effects and maybe auto-framing tuned for living rooms. Let's talk price, because this is where Apple could shock the streaming world. The last Apple TV 4K started at an aggressive price for Apple. If the 2025 model drops to or near the $99 mark for the base configuration, that's a problem for Roku and Amazon, in a good way for you. More likely, we'll see a smart two-tier approach, a lower-cost Wi-Fi model with plenty of storage, and a slightly pricier Ethernet model with all the smart home radios enthusiasts want built in. Either way, value is trending up. Release timing? The safe bet is the second half of 2025. Apple likes quiet press release launches for Apple TV, sometimes aligned with a tvOS update. So don't be surprised if it appears with little fanfare but big impact. And remember, until Apple says it on stage or on their site, details can shift. But the trajectory is clear. Faster, smarter, better wireless, and a real chance at 120 Hz and AV1. So, should you wait or buy the current Apple TV 4K right now? Here's the honest answer. If your TV is 60 Hz, you don't care about gaming, and you just want Apple's best streaming box today, the current Apple TV 4K is excellent, fast, reliable, and it will get years of updates. If you already own the 2021 or 2022 model and you're happy, sit tight. But if you watch a ton of YouTube in 4K, have a 120 Hz TV, plan to game, or you're building a smart home and want the best hub experience, waiting for the 2025 model could pay off in a big way. And if you're on an older box, Apple TV HD or the first-gen 4K, this is the upgrade you'll actually feel from the second you turn it on. Faster app switching, better picture, cleaner audio, likely better Wi-Fi, and a remote you can finally find when it vanishes. That's not hype. That's the daily stuff that makes your living room experience better every single night. Here's what I want you to watch for as news drops. Mention of AV1 support, any reference to 4K 120 or variable refresh rate, Wi-Fi 6E or 7, and whether Thread is standard across all models. If Apple checks those boxes, we're looking at the most meaningful Apple TV upgrade in years. Imagine this. You hit play, the UI responds instantly, your team's game looks fluid at 120 Hz, YouTube 4K snaps into crisp focus without buffering, lights dim on cue, and if the remote goes missing, you just ping it from your phone. That's the 2025 Apple TV 4K story in a nutshell. Small box, big impact. If you found this breakdown useful, you know what to do. Stick around, drop your questions, and tell me which feature you care about most. 120 Hz, AV1, or a Find My Remote. And if you're shopping now and you want my short take, casual streamers can buy today and be happy, power users should wait. Your next movie night will thank you.